What if cancer begins long before anyone ever notices? Long before the diagnosis, the treatment, the fight, before any pain, any symptoms, any warning signs at all? What if it all starts silently, deep within you, with just a single cell making a single mistake? Right now, as you listen to this, billions upon billions of cells inside your body are in constant motion. They are dividing, repairing, and replacing themselves in a breathtakingly precise and continuous dance of life. Most of the time, this process is remarkably, almost miraculously accurate. But every so often, something goes wrong. A tiny error, a single typo in the genetic code occurs. One cell changes. And that single, solitary cell, now operating under a new and dangerous set of instructions, may become the seed from which cancer grows. So let's shrink down, far beyond what the eye can see. Let's journey to the microscopic level and watch what actually happens when cancer starts. Your body is a universe unto itself, containing a population of roughly 30 trillion cells. That's more than 3,000 times the number of people on Earth. And every single day, billions of these cells divide to keep you healthy, to heal a cut, to replace old skin, to build new blood. To perform this feat safely, every cell must follow a very specific set of instructions. Those instructions are stored inside its nucleus, coiled tightly into the elegant double helix of DNA. You can think of DNA as the ultimate instruction manual. It's a biological blueprint containing all the information a cell needs to function. It tells a cell when to grow, when to work, when to repair itself, and, just as importantly, when to stop dividing and die. This process, called apoptosis, or programmed cell death, is essential. It's the body's way of tidying up, getting rid of old or damaged cells to make way for new, healthy ones. In a healthy body, this entire system is tightly, beautifully controlled. Healthy cells follow the rules. They grow when needed, they stop when told, and they die when their job is done. But cancer begins, quite simply, when some cells stop following those rules. So how does a cell become a rule breaker? It starts with a mutation. Every time a cell divides, it has to copy its entire instruction manual, all 3 billion letters of its DNA code. Imagine photocopying a 1,000-page book over and over at high speed. You'd expect a few typos to slip in. The body has an incredible proofreading and repair system to fix these mistakes almost instantly. But occasionally, an error slips through. This uncorrected error is called a mutation. Now, mutations happen all the time. Most are completely harmless. They might occur in a non-critical part of the DNA, or the cell's backup systems compensate for them. Some mutations can even be corrected later, or simply disappear when the cell dies. They can occur naturally, just as a part of living and aging, but they can also be triggered by outside forces, carcinogens. Things like the chemicals in tobacco smoke, excessive UV radiation from the sun, certain viruses like HPV, or exposure to environmental toxins. These factors can directly damage DNA, increasing the chances that a mistake will occur and stick. But the real trouble begins when a mutation strikes a very specific, very critical kind of gene, a gene involved in controlling cell growth. Healthy cells exist in a constant dialogue with their neighbors. They receive a steady stream of signals. Grow, pause, repair yourself, or if the damage is too great, sacrifice yourself for the greater good. These instructions are what keep our tissues organized, our organs functioning, and our bodies healthy. But certain mutations can damage the very systems that receive and interpret these signals. Imagine a car whose accelerator is suddenly welded to the floor. That's what happens when a mutation hits a gene that tells a cell to grow. Now it's permanently switched on. Or imagine a car whose brakes are cut. That's what happens when a mutation strikes a gene whose job is to tell a cell to stop dividing. The result is the same. The cell becomes a runaway vehicle. It keeps dividing when it should stop, it plows through the body's warning signs and safety checkpoints, and step by step, it becomes more and more independent from the body's central control. The frightening thing is that at this stage, the cell and its immediate descendants may look completely normal from the outside. They perform their jobs, they look like their neighbors, but internally, deep within their DNA, a dangerous revolution is brewing. More mutations are accumulating, each one making the cells more reckless and more resilient. As the single abnormal cell continues to divide without restraint, it creates identical copies of itself, all carrying the same faulty genetic instructions. Then those copies divide, and their copies divide, and so on. 1 becomes 2, 2 become 4, 4 becomes 16. It's a slow, invisible process of exponential growth. Over months, or more often years, this growing family of rogue cells develops into a small cluster. This is the beginning of a tumor. Now, it's important to know that not all tumors are cancerous. Some are benign. This means they're like a contained rebellion. They grow, but they stay in one place and they don't invade the surrounding territory. They can cause problems by pressing on organs, but they don't spread. Malignant tumors, however, are different. They are true invaders. The cells in a malignant tumor are relentlessly aggressive. They continue multiplying, pushing into and destroying nearby healthy tissues. What started as one cell has now become an organized, growing mass of millions, and it's learning how to survive. As a tumor grows, its cells face a fundamental problem. They need fuel. Rapid growth requires a huge amount of energy and nutrients.
To solve this, many tumors become master manipulators. They begin to release specific chemical signals into their surroundings that essentially cry out for new supply lines. The body, tricked into thinking there is new tissue that needs support, responds by growing new blood vessels directly toward the tumor. This process is called angiogenesis. The tumor is essentially hijacking the body's own infrastructure, building its own network of highways to deliver the oxygen and nutrients it needs to keep growing. At the same time, it's learning to hide. Remember, your immune system is a powerful and vigilant police force, constantly patrolling your body for abnormal cells, viruses, and other threats. In fact, your immune cells probably find and destroy countless potentially cancerous cells every single day, long before they can ever become dangerous. But successful cancer cells are masters of disguise. They develop ways to cloak themselves, to put up a "don't see me" signal that allows them to evade detection. They can effectively become invisible to the immune cells that are supposed to destroy them. And this leads us to the most dangerous step of all. The feature of cancer that makes it so deadly isn't usually the original tumor. It's the cancer's ability to spread. This is called metastasis. This occurs when some cancer cells from the primary tumor manage to break away. They invade a nearby blood vessel or lymphatic channel and are carried away by the current. These wandering cells become colonists, traveling through the body's circulatory highways. Many will die on this perilous journey, but some are strong enough to survive. They can exit the bloodstream in a distant organ, like the lungs, the liver, the brain, or the bones, and there, if the new environment is suitable, they can settle down and begin forming entirely new tumors. This is why an advanced cancer that started in one place, like the colon, can end up affecting multiple, distant parts of the body. It's what makes the disease so incredibly difficult to fight in its later stages. Perhaps the most astonishing thing about this entire process is that it so often begins with just one cell, one mutation, one broken instruction in a 3 billion letter code, one cell that stops obeying the rules of the community and starts acting only for itself.
But it's also crucial to remember that cancer is not a single disease. It is a collection of hundreds of different diseases, each driven by its own unique set of genetic changes and behaviors. Yet, the good news is that our understanding of this process has grown exponentially. Scientists can now read the genetic code of a tumor, identify its specific mutations, and develop treatments that target those exact weaknesses. We've developed therapies that can unmask cancer cells, allowing our own immune systems to see and destroy them. Early detection, prevention through healthy lifestyle choices, and these modern targeted treatments are saving and extending millions of lives. The journey of cancer is a story of rules being broken. But the more we understand how those rules are broken in the first place, the better equipped we are to enforce them, to repair them, and to fight back. Understanding how it begins is the first, most powerful step toward ensuring it ends.